Welcome everyone to another exciting episode of Arthan's Conversations of Change series as a part of our Women at Work initiative. Before I introduce today's guest, let's take a moment to talk about Arthan's Women at Work. The mission of our initiative is to enhance women's participation and leadership in the development workforce, specifically at the mid-senior levels. We aim to create a more inclusive and supportive environment for women to join, grow, and lead in the development sector. Our Conversations of Change video interview series feature prominent thinkers and practitioners in the field of social impact as well as inclusivity, offering valuable insights into women in leadership. Today, we are thrilled to host someone who has been an immense source of support for us and someone we deeply respect and admire for her work and her values. Surbhi Yadav, our guest for today, is the founder and CEO of Saje Sapne, a non-profit that's empowering rural women through quality education and catalyzing livelihood for the underserved sections of the society. Her vision is to uplift Sapne Walis or rural women who have big dreams but often lack the resources. Some of the other major projects of Surbhi include Women at Leisure, and she's also a co-lead at Billion Readers, Bird, and I Am Ahmedabad project that supports the government's language literacy initiative. Her key areas of expertise include organization building, rural development, inclusive innovation, and leveraging technology for social good. Welcome, Surbhi. We are so excited to have you here, and thank you for joining us today.
Of course, very excited to be here and have a good conversation. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. To set the stage for our conversation, I would love to hear the story behind the inception of Saje Sapne. What motivated you to establish this organization, and what is the driving force behind your decision to embark on this journey when you first got started?
I'm gonna just start with like slightly more, details to the introduction that you already gave for Sajay. Sajay Sapne is working on the problem that in villages after 12th standard, there are hardly any real options for growth for 18 to 23 years old young women. Right? गांव में जब 12वीं की पढ़ाई जो लोग कर लेते हैं, especially women who have finished 12th, and a lot of women are now finishing 12th thanks to a lot of NGOs and government work that has happened in last 2 decades. 12वीं के बाद क्या? So the options that are listed are शादी ऑफ कोर्स, अगर वो एक ऑप्शन है. अगर पढ़ाई कंटिन्यू करनी है, कमाई के लिए कुछ रास्ते खोलने हैं, सो देन यू हैव ITIs, you have ITCs, you have government colleges, you have private colleges. None of them like really offer you a real pathway कि अगर आप इस पे अगर कर लोगे, 2 साल की ITI कर ली, 3 साल का कॉलेज कर लिया, you would actually have a chance, a real chance, one for learning something tangible and two for earning something, right? And that's what we are focusing on. And you would see that बहुत सारी urban areas में ना, like maybe let's say your college and my college experience was called career development, but in villages we call it livelihood. So why is that? Like why don't we imagine careers for rural women? And the way we define career is that any long pathway for your growth. It could be सीखने, हम students के साथ बोलते हैं ये कि सीखने और कमाई के का लंबा रास्ता है ना. तो लंबा इज इम्पॉर्टेंट, सीखना इज इम्पॉर्टेंट, कमाना इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. बट वी डोंट थिंक लाइक दैट फॉर रूरल यूथ. जैसे मैं बहुत बहुत सारे इनोवेशन भी देखती हूँ स्पेस में, इनोवेशन तो नहीं, जो काम देखती हूँ स्पेस में. सो देयर इज अ होल सिलाई कढ़ाई बुनाई डेवलपमेंट मॉडल, राइट? कि गांव की औरतें हैं तो द फर्स्ट आइडिया दैट कम्स टू आवर माइंड इज द सिलाई सेंटर. लाइक आवर बेस्ट ऑफ आवर माइंड्स आर थिंकिंग एट द सिलाई कढ़ाई बुनाई लेवल फॉर रूरल वुमेन. और उस पेशे में कोई दिक्कत नहीं है ना, या फिर ब्यूटिशियन हो जाएगा, उन प्रोफेशंस में कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. दिक्कत ये है कि 5 साल तक वो लड़की वो सिलाई कढ़ाई बुनाई ही कर रही होगी, कोई गारंटी नहीं है कि उसकी कमाई बढ़ रही होगी, उसका नेटवर्क बढ़ रहा होगा, उसके मौके बढ़ रहे होंगे. None of that discuss or even imagine what would a long growth pathway for a rural youth could look like, for a rural woman could look like. And that's the problem that Saji is working on. And at the moment, the way we are solving it is by designing a rural college model, in which we are saying कि नए ज़माने में सीखने और नए ज़माने में नौकरियों की तैयारी करवाएंगे, कमाई के रास्ते खोलेंगे. और अभी 3 तरह की करियर ट्रैक्स हैं. पहला कोडिंग, फ्रंट एंड वेब डेवलपमेंट. सेकंड इज़ प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट, which actually is like a generic skill set that prepare you to get into any kind of formal workspace. And the third is primary math teaching with 2 other organizations. So, and currently this is a 1 year long residential program in the village that I'm based in Kanbadi in Himachal. And by the end of this program, usually our Sapnewalis usually end up getting jobs starting from 15 to 20,000 rupees, and that's just start of their career. So we believe that we're launching careers of rural women. We are supporting them to launch their careers in the modern world, right? And I'm not talking about jobs. I'm talking about career. So the whole intentionality of the program, the pedagogy of the program, the work in the program is focused on कि लंबा रास्ता है. ऐसा नहीं है कि बस इसको लेकर रुक गए, right? So that's one. And you asked me what inspired or how did I get here. Um, that's a long journey, so we'll see how to summarize it in short. I think I grew up in, or I belong to 4 different worlds. Um, I grew up in Khargon. It's a town in Madhya Pradesh. And then my roots are in Bundelkhand, in 2 villages in Bundelkhand from where my parents were. And I studied at IIT Delhi. That's a 3rd world. I studied in the US. That's 4th world. And now the 5th one that I'm creating. And all of these 4 worlds are very different from each other. तो जैसे जो बुंदेलखंड में गांव है माधोपुरा जहाँ पे पापा का गांव है, my father was the first one in the entire community to actually get educated beyond 10th, to actually have a job, to actually really pursue education. My mother was educated till 8th standard, highest among her siblings. Like she fought for that education. So Madhupura is very different from Khargon. Khargon is very different from the Delhi, America, and then Himachal. And when you grow up in such different settings, it does something to your brain. One of the things that I saw was that we are 4 siblings, and we were getting educated, right? Like we were the odd ones in the family who were actually going to school. So every time we would go back to our village, which was like all the summer vacations growing up, a lot of my sisters, cousins basically, तो भाभियाँ चाचियाँ दीदियाँ, they would often tell me कि जब तुम बड़े आदमी बन जाओगे ना, तो तुम हमको अपने चपरासी की तरह रख लेना, है ना, या तुम हमको अपने घर में काम दे देना, है ना. And even as a kid, it used to make me think कि ये औरतें बहुत ज़्यादा काम करती हैं. Like for me, they were very skilled. They were running the farm economy. They were running the house economy. And yet, they consider themselves, like their aspirations are so limited to repetitive, manual labor. Like their biggest aspiration is कि तुम हमको चपरासी रख लेना. Like why can't they think bigger कि अच्छा मैं strategy बनाऊंगी ना, मैं ये program run करूंगी, मैं ये office चलाऊंगी. वहाँ तक तो हम सोच भी नहीं रहे हैं. तो that used to bother me कि there was this family that I was being raised in जहाँ पे मम्मी पापा ने बहुत आज़ादी दी थी कि जो करना है करो, बस पैसे नहीं लगने चाहिए, because पैसे थे नहीं. So it shouldn't cost money, but as long as you're learning and doing something, do it. So there was like big difference. फिर मैं IIT पहुँच गई. IIT की दुनिया और माधोपुरा की दुनिया बहुत अलग थी, है ना. IIT की दुनिया में जो it was a mela where everything was accessible all of a sudden. Like there were books, like I still remember 3-story library in IIT Delhi, and it was bonkers that I can actually touch these books. I'm allowed to like just touch them. And that was not the case back home, right? Like Khargon में कहानियों की किताबें थी ही नहीं, right? Like there was no store which used to sell story books. No, there was no such thing as कि आपके living room में किताबें हैं. IIT में जो चीज़ें किताबों में बोल रहे थे कि ये development issues हैं, those were lifestyle back in Madhupura, right? So it has been a long journey of living very many different worlds and realizing on a constant basis that women everywhere are creating things every single day. फिर वो घर में क्या बनाना है वहाँ से लेकर रिश्ते कैसे बनाना है, रंगोली बनानी है, घर कैसे सजाना है, to planning whatever finances they have to plan. They're creating a lot. It's just that the respect for their creation is not there within and definitely not outside. And that has really bothered me a lot. And the parallel side of all of this was that my father and my mother had a strong sense of service towards their own community. So they would often tell us when we were growing up कि तुम्हारी पढ़ाई तब काम आएगी जब गाँव के काम आ रही है. So I heard that story a lot growing up and I just bought it कि हाँ वो तो सही बोल रहे हैं, तभी तो काम आएगी जब गाँव के काम आ रही है, right? um, so yeah, I think it was always to do something in villages. How did women came in the picture, वो एक अलग लंबी कहानी है, तो maybe for some other day. But yeah, I think the idea that I do think that there is a lot of potential. I genuinely believe in that. It's just a matter of finding the right set of conditions for them to just live up to their potential and eventually, help all of us. So yeah, it's a long answer to your question.
But I think you set the stage for the second question, because when you say there are some of the factors or the right kind of situation that will help women achieve their fullest potential. So in your case, I'm very curious, what are some of the significant opportunities or experiences along your way, be it like formative experiences or back in IIT or when you moved to the US. So what were some of those experiences that shaped you, the learnings that you're taking with you even till today? Could you share that with us?
Yeah, yeah. Bunch actually. I feel my life is like all the gifts in my life are like given by other people. It's like a series of a lot of serendipities, and sometimes I wonder what if this person wasn't here, like how would my life would have changed, like a series of such incidences. First one, the first and foremost is the family that I grew up in. तो बच्चे जो होते हैं ना, वो कहानियाँ जो माँ बाप बोलते हैं वो मान जाते हैं, है ना. So I'm going to tell you a couple of those stories that my parents sold to me and I just bought them, like full on, I bought them. The first one was, so I had cross eyes. I still have cross eyes, but when I was a kid, I was like a massive cross eye, है ना, एक आंख इधर एक आंख इधर. Now imagine if you have cross eyes and you are going to school and playing with other kids, they're gonna bully you. They're gonna tease you. They're gonna serve all the commentary that you don't need. So वो करते थे. So then I would go back home and I would fight with my father कि आप मेरा आँखों का operations नहीं कराते हो, आप कैसे हो, like you're not fixing my eyes. Everyone teases me. So first he started with this story कि नहीं बेटा आपकी आँखें तो God gift हैं. So then I would go back and I would fight with everyone कि मेरी आंखें तो God gift हैं. So then they would fight back, ये God gift नहीं है, ये God gift है, तेरी आंखें तो बेकार gift है. So then again I would go back to my father and fight. So then he came up with a new one. I'm sure there were other ones in between, but I completely forgot. The one that stuck. He said, he would say, whenever I would fight with him, he would say, देखो किरण बेदी और रानी लक्ष्मीबाई ने तो ऐसा काम किया है कि उनकी आंखों में भी कोई आंखें डाल के नहीं देख सकता है. तो तुमको ऐसा काम करना है that everyone is like, oh, respect, है ना. I really bought that story because he repeated it so many times, right? Like every instance of wherever I would be frustrated that people are laughing at me, he would repeat that and with like full passion and belief. So the story that I formed in my head was that I am not beautiful and that beauty is not important. And for the longest time, I think until 23, 24, I was deeply convinced in my heart I'm not beautiful and that it doesn't matter. So what matters is your brains. So you have to learn a lot. You have to really, really learn a lot. So that was the first one. And I think anyone who knows me knows how obsessed I am with learning. And it has nothing to do with, proving myself. It just, that's how I feel. That's your purpose of living. That you're supposed to be growing and learning. And that's richness of life. So that's the first one. The second one that I did mention, that गाँव पढ़ाई तो तभी काम आएगी जब गाँव के काम आ रही है. And that really instilled a very strong sense of service. और मुझे लगता है कि पापा और मम्मी जिस तरीके से जिए हैं, my mother is no more, but the way they lived their lives, giving was their way of living. And even when, now I know we were a low income family. Like when I was growing up, I didn't know we were a low income family because children don't need a lot of money. Children need a lot of carefreeness. And I think they gave us that. But they also kept showing us over and over just by how they lived. My father is now a retired government, government officer in horticulture department. All his life he has helped farmers, all his life. मतलब, और वो किसी से पैसे नहीं लेते थे क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट में थे तो पैसे ले नहीं सकते हैं. सो अ लॉट ऑफ फार्मर्स विल कम एंड पे अस इन इन फ्रूट्स. तो हमारे घर में अमरूद ही अमरूद होते थे, आम ही आम होते थे. लाइक दे विल कम एंड गिव इट टू अस कि आप ये ले लो. So I saw that growing up कि अच्छा हाँ, you have to be in service, you have to work with others. So that was second. The third thing that happened in childhood, which again these are all in retrospect, huh? I don't think I was that reflective when I was a kid, or like thanking my parents profusely. The third thing that they did is that there was, and this is mostly my mother, there was no pressure of studying, like zero, like zero. As long as you're going to school, that is more than enough. And even if my mother saw that we are getting tensed because of school, she would have taken us out also. I had like full faith in her ability to do that. For her, it was utmost important कि बच्चे खुश रहने चाहिए. That's it. Like nothing else mattered in the world. And so what it did, like I remember I went to IIT Delhi, and I was like the first girl in entire Khargon and of course in Madhupura to actually go to Delhi. Forget IIT. और आईटी का तो नाम ही नहीं पता था. एवरीवन वुड लाइक अच्छा गुड़िया का आईटीआई में हो गया है, यू नो. And I went to IIT, and you know, the first month I remember there was a quiz. I really did bad on that quiz, like CHL 101. I still remember the course. Like it was very bad score, and I called home and I was crying. So everyone got to know कि गुड़िया रो रही थी वहाँ पे. My mother calls me and she's like, तू घर आ जा, IIT छोड़ दे. यहाँ पे तेरे को लोकल में बोरावा कॉलेज में हो जाएगा, तेरे को कोई ज़रूरत नहीं वहाँ पे करने की, तू आ जा. एंड शी मेंट इट. लाइक शी वाजंट सेइंग एज अ टीजिंग मी. एंड आई थिंक, एंड आई हैव हैड दिस एक्सपीरियंस कि घर आ जा सो मेनी टाइम्स that I would often laugh it off when I would hear it. But now that I've grown up, I realize that there was always an option of failing and going home. Always. Like the love and support from family wasn't conditioned on the external metrics of success, and that your well-being mattered the most. And I think until today that's the environment at least I have experienced in my house. So that really makes you a very carefree person, and it also makes you a very confident person. Because मैं जब IIT में गई थी, I didn't know English, तो मैं बहुत grammatical mistakes भी करती थी, to a point where I remember there was this one DPS RKP peer, and she said, you don't use punctuation marks in your blogs. And I very confidently said, yeah, they disrupt the sentences, so I don't like it. So I actually skip punctuation marks. Like I just felt that they are useless. And so imagine if you're going in IIT with cross eyes, you know, your fashion sense is coming from like a really small town and you don't speak English. One would imagine that I would end up being very shy and I would not speak up and I would like shrink. None of that happened. Uska ulta hi hua. I ended up participating in almost every single thing that IIT had to offer. To a point कि first year के end में उनको एक अलग से इनाम निकालना पड़ा, which didn't exist in the hostel until then, like most enthusiastic fresher. And again, that goes back to the benchmarking and the stories that the parents have told us that, well, नहीं आता तो सीख लो. That's it. And कोई pressure है नहीं. And so I think those things definitely help, and those were the foundational things, I guess. And then over the years, I have been very, very lucky to get some amazing mentors till date. So lucky. I mean, I cannot tell you how much they have. They have helped me. They've raised me. They have polished me. You know, they've been so committed to my growth. And साझे में हम अपनी भाषा निकाल रहे हैं. There is a concept that we came up with, Sapna Dal. Like a group of people who are excited because you're growing. And I think I've been blessed with a very rich Sapnadal, like a very rich Sapnadal. And that includes some of my closest friends. That when life goes down, you outsource your confidence to them. And then you ride on their confidence for you, you know. So yeah, all of that. But yeah, some foundational things have been laid down. I do want to mention one more because that was very foundational. It's basically about honoring your own voice, which is, and I've used this example in many interviews, that तो माधोपुरा में बैक इन माई विलेज लड़कियां, बुंदेलखंड एरिया है ना, तो women and girls live a very shrunk lives in many sense, and until today मतलब घूंघट प्रथा है, और लड़कियां बारात में नहीं जा सकती हैं. अब तो माहौल चेंज हो रहा है, बट मैं जब छोटी थी तो लड़कियां बारात में नहीं जा सकती हैं, लाइक दैट वाज जस्ट नॉट द थिंग, है ना. तो हमारे इनविटेशन, वेडिंग इनविटेशन कार्ड्स होते हैं, उसमें ना सारे घर के आदमियों का और लड़कों का नाम लिखा होता है कि आपके स्वागत में सबका नाम कॉमा कॉमा करके, देयर बी बिग पैराग्राफ, चिंटू बिंटू सबका नाम लिखा होगा. नो वुमेन्स नेम और गर्ल्स नेम अपीयर ऑन दैट. I was like 6 or 7. It was my first cousin's wedding, first big wedding that I attended in my life, and my brother's name was on it. My name was not on it. That's all it mattered. दुनिया भर का नहीं पता है मुझे, उसका नाम है, मेरा नाम क्यों नहीं है. So I created a ruckus, why is my name not here? My name should be here, and all of that. And everyone ignored me. Everyone shut me down. I went to my mother inside the kitchen in her ghungat, and she could have completely ignored me, and she could have said, कोई बात नहीं, ऐसे ही होता है. She didn't say that. She like, go to papa. पापा को बोल, नाम क्यों नहीं तेरा, पापा को बोल. So I went to my father, and my father got 1,000 cards printed again, and there was like a special line written in the end of that card, which said, हमारी गुड़िया सुरभि यादव के कहने पे जलूल जलूल आना. And I became like the first girl in the village to actually have her name on the the wedding card. And I think what that incident did is just gave this a very solid reassurance कि बोल देना चाहिए और सुनने वाले सुन लेंगे. And it was massive. And of course, many such incidences happened where my parents did ask us for our opinions, even as kids. And so when you go to IIT Delhi as a young woman who doesn't know English properly, you are not shying that, अच्छा मैं क्यों बोलूं? You're like, अच्छा बोलना तो पड़ेगा ना. Like, of course you have to say. And if they are not listening, it's their problem. It's not my problem. Because Madhupura में भी वो था, like my दादी would not give me ghee, would give my brother ghee, है ना. दादी भी एक परिवेश में बड़ी हुई थी, तो I understand her, but बहुत क्लियर था कि तुम लड़की हो और तुम कम हो, बट वो फर्क ही नहीं पड़ा, because there was another narrative which was coming from the parents, right? So these are some very foundational things that I have understood are like a massive privilege, that people don't get in their families. So yeah, thank you for listening. I'm just going on and on.
No, thank you for sharing, because often all of these formative experiences shape our thoughts, and I love how you are going back in time and making connections, and all of these are very strong and very significant experiences. I'm sure, like even after all these years, they have that sort of an impact and impression with you. So thank you for sharing these with us. The next question to you, Surabhi, is not directly related to Sajay at all, but something I've been personally curious about. Your project, Women at Leisure, which aims to, for our audience, for the benefit of the audience, I'm just giving a small brief. Women at Leisure aims to capture women in moments of joy, relaxation, and play. And that's why it's like truly remarkable, because it has gained a significant following online, and also it's created a community of women too. So Surabhi, could you share your experience in establishing this community, and also what is the significance of documenting these moments? I'm also asking because considering the demanding nature of our work with the communities, and for a lot of us in the social sector, we often prioritize empathy in our work, but we don't extend that compassion to ourselves, and often end up being very burned out. So I think that's why it's truly remarkable and significant. And please share your experience and the sense of community.
So Women at Leisure, and its full name is Project Basanti Women at Leisure. Basanti is my mother's name, and it came because of her after her death, honoring her life. And and it essentially is exploring time as a feminist issue, leisure as a feminist issue, or even as a feminist tool, not just as an issue. And it's a multimedia repository, a very rich repository at the moment of a lot of photos and videos of girls and women taking time out. है ना? One of my friends, one of my dear friends, Arushi Mittal, she once called me, and she was going through some trouble, and I had been following up with her, checking in with her that week. And then next week she called me and she said, do you realize that we call each other when we are in trouble and not when we are in absolute joy? And she said, जितने भी मेरी सारी feminist दोस्त हैं, सब glass ceiling तोड़ने में लगी हुई हैं, किसी के पास time ही नहीं है. Like, all of us are so, who have made it in some sense, are so occupied कि एक दूसरे का ध्यान रखने का टाइम कहाँ है, एक दूसरे की खुशियों के साथ. And I think that has really stayed with me. And so that is what that project is doing, that it's bringing a language and a gaze for something so obvious, but it sounds so extraordinary, like leisure, right? And the way I define leisure is not just in the limits of joy or aram or rest. The way I define leisure is any stretch of time or space or activity which lets you keep your guards down to whatever extent you can, right? So what it means is, and it goes back to how the project began. It had begun after my mother's death, and I had this big awakening that I didn't know my mother as a person. I only knew her as my mother. That's it. And I was 23 at that point, and it hit me very hard that how do I not know my mother's worldview? How do I not know what were her fears? How do I not know what was her politics? I just don't know, honestly. And now I have lost the chance to know that. And so I ended up interviewing a bunch of people in her life to understand more about her. And one of the neighbor aunties, Gangle auntie in our mohalla in Khargone, she said, my opening question used to be, माँ के बारे में आपको क्या याद है? And she said, अरे भाभी तो बहुत ही मजाकिया और शैतान थी. And now those are not the adjectives that come to my mind when I talk about my mother. She was a mother of 4 kids. She was uprooted from her support system from a village to a town. Her kids were studying in a convent school, the language, English language, that is, she had no clue about. She was not mazakiya and shaitan in the household. So then I said, अरे मतलब कैसे? So then she said, अरे हम लोग, so 5 to 6 p.m. was the leisure time in the mohalle wali aunties in our mohalla, that they would sit outside on a angan and they would chat, and then they would go back for dinner preparation. And she said, अरे भाभी जब भी नीचे आती थी, मतलब वो इतना हंसा हंसा के सबको पागल कर देती थी, मतलब चिंता का कोई टॉपिक ही नहीं होता था, बस हंसो. And that made me realize that my mother was that in a lot of instances. Like हमारे यहाँ होली पे मोहल्ले में सारे बच्चे और औरतें साथ में जब एंड में रंग खेल के बैठते थे, तो she would do this improv role plays right on spot. And she would create like big ruckus, she would make a lot of noise, and she would do a lot of raunchy role plays. And I would hate that. I was very embarrassed of her for doing that. And in college I did theater, and I never credited my mother कि वहाँ से आया होगा. But she was doing that, right? तो फिर वहाँ से वो सवाल आया कि अच्छा मम्मी जब कोई रोल में नहीं थी तो क्या थी? When she was not being my mother, when she was not being the housemaker, when she was not being wife, all the roles, when her guards were down, what was she? And so that question was very, very dear. Like it became very dear. It also reminded me that there was this one time when we went to Kumbh Mela in Ujjain, me, her and Papa, and 4 बजे सब लोग नदी में डुबकी लगाने जाते हैं, and nobody dared to swim because it was cold and it was pani, a lot of waves. She just jumped in, and she was a tall woman and she was wearing a sari, and she just jumped in and she's just gliding like a fish in the water. And I was shocked. वो बाहर आई करके अपना पूरा उनके हिसाब से तो this was a prayer, right? She wasn't doing this as a masti. She was doing this as a prayer. She came and everyone was looking at her, like everyone was surprised. And I said, आपको swimming कहाँ से आती है? And she said, अरे हमारे घर के पास बेतवा नदी थी, हम तो बचपन में पूरे टाइम वहीं पे रहते थे दिन दिन भर. And now that I think about it, in 23 years that I knew her, that's the only single time I've saw her swimming. So then what else did I miss? What was she like a young girl? What was she dreaming of when she was a young girl? What would she have designed? How would she have designed this world if she was designing it? So leisure to me answers all of that. I think when your guards are down, that's when your inner world takes the center stage, and that's when you bring your richness in out, right? So then I started documenting photos of my sister because her life is much closer to my mother. She's a mother of 2 kids. She takes care of the house. She's also a teacher. So I started documenting her life. कि इतनी busy life में she's constantly working. Where does she find her leisure? Where is her guards down? And what does she look like when her guards are down? So once I started documenting hers, then तो it just became a thing that I couldn't turn off. फिर तो वो जहाँ जाने लग गई मैं, I would end up clicking a lot of photographs, and because my work is so much in rural areas, there's a lot of photographs of underrepresented rural communities, and what it did is when you talked about the community, I think it has given the language. Second, it has given a gaze. Third, it has given a बहुत ही प्यारा nudge to reflect. Like that project doesn't shame anyone. The project doesn't say, how dare you not think about this. The project doesn't say, you're a bad feminist. It does none of that. It just says, it shows actually how how beautiful moments are possible. Do you have them in your life? And if you don't, why not? So what it ended up doing is like a lot of people reach out to me, men, women, a lot of people reach out to me with like this such really tender reflections on how they have missed out on seeing their mother's leisure or their partner's leisure or their grandmother's leisure. And it comes to them as a shock. कि हमने कैसे नहीं सोचा? This is so obvious. Like we should have thought about it. And so yeah, I mean, I really enjoy that project, and it has right now it's an intellectual quest of getting deeper into these questions. I also think that I think a lot of current feminist discourse is around fighting back, is benchmarked against what patriarchy is doing to us. And I think feminism has a lot more to offer. I think feminism is more than just fighting back patriarchy. Feminism is about creating. And it's not necessarily just limited to fighting. So I think वो हमारे discourse में, in our current discourse, we are not creating. We are not talking about new creations. We are not talking about what else is possible if we are not busy fighting. We are not caught up in just fighting. And I think leisure does that. Leisure as a feminist tool lets you create who you are. You bring in your richness, your individual richness. So I think that leisure is a tool for feminist liberation collectively. So yeah, that's how the project has come to be, and that's what it's doing right now. Yeah.
That was beautiful, Surbi. Thank you for sharing that with us. My next question is a little bit about your career and your background, because right now we are witnessing a growing trend of professionals from non-humanities background also, for their own satisfaction sake, or probably they're missing something in their corporate career, transitioning to more development and community roles. And you're someone who did engineering at both bachelor's and master's level. And considering your own journey, what are some of the insights that you would want to share with people coming into the sector? What are some of the do's and don'ts, and what you wish someone had told you? Could you share something with us?
One is like know your why, and I get it. Something is missing, and that's why you want to fill it. Question is, how did you reach there? Right. So understand your values, understand your priorities, understand your drivers, and then ask yourself, अच्छा क्या और मैं भरना चाहती हूँ अपनी ज़िंदगी में, राइट? एंड और कितने तरीके हैं उसको भरने के, है ना? सोशल सेक्टर इज़ वन ऑफ देम. That's one. So social sector is not like a magic wand that all of a sudden your life's troubles would be fixed, like or your existential troubles would be fixed. I think you're gonna get more troubles, but your existential troubles are not gonna be like automatically fixed just because you're working in a non-profit. That's not how it works. So the magic wand is in your hands, so you need to do a lot of deeper reflections. That's one. Second, ये ना बहुत लोग बोल चुके हैं, but I'm gonna say it again and again and again. Don't come in the social sector to save someone. And I cannot tell you, ये ना सुनने में हम सुन लेते हैं, but I think इसका emotional experience हमको नहीं पता है. जैसे मैं आपको बहुत छोटा सा एग्जांपल देती हूँ, मुझे ना लिंक्डइन पे बहुत मैसेजेस आते हैं फ्रॉम रियली रेप्यूटेड प्रोफेशनल्स दैट दे वांट टू वॉलंटियर. The messages that they come to me, they come with such non-seriousness in some sense. Like I don't get their CV, I don't get their कि क्या skills है, क्या timeline available है, and they don't ask me कि, क्योंकि अगर आप किसी बड़ी कंपनी में अप्लाई कर रहे होते तो आप पहले उनको अपना पूरा कत्था चिट्टा बताते कि हमको ये आता है, हमको ये आता है, हमारे पास इतना टाइम अवेलेबल है, हम इस तरीके से आपकी मदद कर सकते हैं और इस तरह से खुद की मदद कर सकते हैं. द मैसेजेस दैट कम टू मी एज अ नॉन प्रॉफिट आर कि we are available, we would like to help, take our help. And it really bothers me in some sense because one, you have no idea about the work in some sense, like you have no idea about the context, and this message is as well intentioned, it is also rigged with this assumption that somehow you will be valuable to my students. मतलब कैसे पता पड़ा आपको? आपको तो नहीं पता ना उनको कितना आता है, आपको कितना आता है, आप उनसे क्या सीखोगे, वो आपसे क्या सीखेंगे. I remember this one person had, she works in a very reputed financial firm, and she sent me a message saying that I would love to come as a guest lecturer in your institute. So you self-invited yourself as a guest lecturer. I didn't ask for it. My students didn't ask for it. This assumption that you can walk in the setting and just start lecturing people. This is assumption that you know less than me and you have more to learn from me. It's annoying. That's one part. That's morality wise kuch aur part. But what it does to you, that's the question. It makes you skip a genuine opportunity to expand your worldview. तो पहले 2 साल तो सोशल सेक्टर में ना, ये तो पूरे टाइम ही करना चाहिए, बट पहले 2 साल ना हाथ जोड़ के बहुत ह्यूमिलिटी के साथ बस सीख लेना. मतलब रियली लर्न, लाइक कीप अ डायरी, लर्निंग डायरी फॉर योरसेल्फ कि आज मैंने अपने बारे में और दुनिया के बारे में क्या जाना. दैट्स इट. And if in this process you're able to offer something valuable to someone, that's a bonus. So do something about this savior thing, because savior thing is hard to maintain, no? उसको इतना संभाल के रखना पड़ेगा. So why do you want to do that headache? Third, I would say more this less on the attitude, more practically, like chase the problems, like genuinely chase the problems. The solutions are going to change. What is the problem that bothers you and why, and just chase the problem, go deeper in that problem, marry that problem. Four, it's a long journey. It's a very long journey. So you might want to think about you might want to think about what drives you. So for example, for me, joy of creation drives me. I love creating things. और ये मुझे कभी भी लगता है कि अगर साझे में मुझसे कोई क्रिएशन छीन लेगा तो मैं साझे में टिक नहीं पाऊंगी शायद. लाइक आई नो दैट अबाउट माई सेल्फ एंड आई वुड एक्चुअली क्विट, किसी और को दे दूंगी मैं संस्था. बट फॉर मी दैट्स द की ड्राइवर. आई नीड टू बी एबल टू क्रिएट. सो जस्ट नो योर ड्राइवर. इफ योर ड्राइवर इज डिपेंडेंट ऑन कि मैं 5 लाख औरतों का भला करूंगी, वेल दैट्स अ वेरी गुड noble cause, but it's way too out of your control. So then you need to find an internal driver otherwise. So that would really help. And what else should I say? I don't know, man. Humility comes, like humility and this learning mindset are the biggest one that I feel. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Thank you. And we have arrived at the last question of our conversation, where I want to understand the future aspirations for you personally, and also what role does Sajay play in that, and also where do you see Sajay going in the near future? Because I don't want to ask 5-year plans, but yeah, where do you see it going, evolving?
I have a long term plan. Near future thoda sa complicated, but anyway, I'll answer that. um yeah, personally तो जो अभी मैंने बोला, this richness of creation, right, like this joy of creation, I just want to get better creator, um like more thoughtful, uh more like someone whose creations are able to involve perspectives from very varied sources. Like there should be warmth and tenderness in the creations that I'm doing. There should be, you know, robustness in the creations that I'm making. There should be usefulness for me and for someone else in the creations I'm making. So I just want to continue becoming, honing my skills as a creator. So it could mean, you know, creating a documentary for women at leisure, writing thought pieces for women at leisure, or actually building philosophy, feminist philosophy for women at leisure, or for Sajhe, it could mean, you know, creating a robust institution that can survive without me, that can outgrow me. I think for Sajhe, the big dream and the vision is that किस तरीके, बिकॉज ऑफ साझेज एग्जिस्टेंस इन द सेक्टर, वी रियली वांट कि ये लाइवलीहुड का जो हमारा एक नैरेटिव है और एक तरीका है जानने का, वो लाइवलीहुड से ग्रोथ पाथवे पे कैसे शिफ्ट हो जाए. Livelihood is like tiny income increment, and growth pathway is a bigger, in Sajhe we say skills, agency, job retention, hope and sense of possibilities, and ecosystem of support. इनमें से कुछ तो बढ़े ना उस इंसान के लिए. How can we shift that? And that will happen when people truly believe in the potential of rural women. So we want that shift to happen. We might be failure, success, we don't know yet, but अगर हमारे काम के कारण और हमारे एग्जिस्टेंस के कारण there are 5 more entrepreneurs who come in with not suboptimal solutions for rural women, but really high class, like top quality solutions, that's a good success, because you design top quality stuff for people who you believe in कि अच्छा इनके लिए ही काम करेगा. So that would be a big success for us overall. When it becomes a norm for rural women to do interesting things after 12th, it's no more in use. I think that would be a big success. More short term, I think what we want to do is, right now we've tested this model with 50 students. They've graduated, and most of them are working in reputed firms and organizations, earning pretty well, doing really interesting things. This whole, skills agency, jobs, and all of that. We're seeing big jump in all of that. So the model is working at in a microcosm. It is working. What we do want to see is that where in the system of education and skilling after 12th and in the system of employment, where can we shift a needle. So immediate basis pay, we want to create an employment pipeline. We want to onboard companies which are progressive enough to diversify their talent pool and partner with us, and we'll help with them in that. So that's the one big tangible outcome. And second, we want to experiment this model in some other setting apart from this village, so that it gets tested, especially if we can do that in an ITI, in a government ITI. I think that would be fantastic, because then it gets us an understanding of government system. So those are the two things that we really want to do.
Great. All the best, because it was so much, it gave me so much joy hearing you talk about the future plans, and also how much what you're creating at Sajay means to you. And all the best to you, Sajay, and all the other endeavors you're involved in right now and also in the future.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for taking out time and talking to us.
अरे नहीं यार, this is helpful, and I really hope कोई एक जन भी सुन के इसको मन करे ना उसको कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग करने का. I think that'd be really nice.